Hey everyone, in this video, we're going to talk about if you lost a trade, what are you going to do next? So, this is a very interesting topic and one that I actually really like because as a trader, one of the things that have really helped me improve my trading is to have a plan when I do lose and then after that, analyze what has happened in the past. So, we're going to go through the steps that I take when it comes to analyzing my losing trades. So, let's actually make this smaller. So, let's right after the trade. So, one thing that we want to do is we want to don't immediately enter another trade. And I'm saying this because I am speaking from experience, mainly because there's this thing called revenge trading. And if you haven't heard of that, all that really means is basically you enter a trade, you lose a trade, and then you hop right back into the market trying to make your money back and then some. And most of the times, at least in my experience, that has never worked out, mainly because there are heightened emotions and you're frustrated and all these different things that just don't help you make the best decisions when it comes to taking trades. So I'm saying this because speaking from experience, and in those times, for the most part, I've actually lost more money trying to gain my money back. So that's why I don't immediately enter another trade. I at least wait 1 hour, or then sometimes I'll just close my charts altogether and then just wait for another day. And my personal rule is no more than 2 trades in a day. And I'm saying this because right now, as a swing trader, I really don't need to take more than 2 trades in any given day. Now, there have been times in the past when I started off trading, more so scalping. I was taking 10 plus trades in a day. I think the most trades I took in one day was 20 trades. And looking back, that was just kind of insane. And when I look at my statistics or my journal from that time period, that didn't help me at all. I actually made more money when I took less trades. So I'm trying to get to the point where I only take like 1 trade a week. That would be really cool because I really don't have the time to sit in front of the charts like I did before. And then, two, I want to maximize my gains, especially as a swing trader. If you know about swing trading, which is basically holding a trade for maybe a few days, maybe even a few weeks, sometimes a few months. I did a form of that a long time ago, and basically that was just very profitable for me. So that's pretty much what I do immediately after losing a trade. So the next thing I do is okay, I got to do this all the time. But the next thing I do is I don't blame it on other factors. I pretty much look inwardly and ask myself, well, how could I take in this trade better? Why did I lose this trade? And typically, if it's news related, we all know that those are really risky events to be trading in the first place. So typically, when it comes to news, I am making sure that I'm lowering my risk. I don't go in with my full position. So let's just say hypothetically, if there's a news event and I normally risk $200 a trade, I'm not going into that trade risking $200. I may only risk maybe $50 a trade. So that has helped me kind of keep my risk down. And then in those situations where price has gone in my favor, it's been good. So I remember one time my best news trade was making pretty much 20% of my account. Now, this wasn't a huge account, but still 20% is 20%. So making 20% of my account in 1 minute from the news, that was so insane. I would have to go back and see what I was trading. I want to say it was probably gold or something like that because that's actually one of my favorite things to trade. Even though it's pretty volatile at times. Another thing I don't do is say that it's market manipulation because when I first started trading, I remember hearing people throw that term around, and I was like, well, what is market manipulation? And it's basically when there's a belief that big players, so maybe hedge funds and whoever else with a lot of money, They pretty much take on or put on really large positions to move the market in their favor, or maybe they sell really large positions in order to make the market go down. So it got to a point where basically I was like, okay, well, it can't be market manipulation every time I lose a trade. So there has to be something that is wrong with my trading. So let me go back and ask myself, why did I lose this trade? Just so that way I could be a better trader and not blame it on other factors. So the third thing I do is is later, much later. So this is either the next day or maybe a couple of days later, and we're going to run through an example shortly. But basically, I want to know what information did I miss when I entered that trade. So I know sometimes it's not 100% following my trading plan, and I know that that's really bad. Um, and it doesn't happen often, but when it does, I know that when things don't work out, it's because I did not follow that trading plan. And then next is not looking left when entering the trade. So basically, what that means for me is we will look at that actually in a second here. So let me get through this one. Lack of volume. So entering trades when there's no volume. So let's go ahead and go over to the chart, and I'll show you exactly what I mean about looking left and the volume thing. All right. So here is the trade that I am thinking about. So past, or actually a couple of days ago, I was in a options trade, and basically it did not work out. So when I'm talking about looking left, if we go to a higher time frame, such as maybe the 1 hour or maybe even the 2 hour, we see that at this $180 range, price pretty much likes to bounce from this level. So, what I was looking to do is take a bounce entry. So, it rejected this once, twice, three times, four times. And then when I entered the trade, it was somewhere over here, but it wasn't on the 2 hour. I think it was maybe the 30-minute or maybe even the 45 minute chart. But regardless of where it's at, basically, I wanted to cap my risk at about a hundred so dollars in this trade. And if we go over to my trading journal real quick and just go over here to Trade Zella. So one thing I want to say about this is an amazing tool to use in terms of tracking. So pretty much, this is Apple, lost $110, two contracts. And one thing that I like to do is to take screenshots before and after. Although in TradeZella, you could kind of see, let me move myself out the way. You can see where you entered, when you exited the trade. And like I said, I mainly exited this trade because I wanted to cap my risk and I wanted to make sure I didn't lose more money. Now, we saw on the last screen, let's go there, we saw that price sold off, and then this is where I got stopped out at. So I got stopped out essentially around this area. It did go down a little bit more, but if we look a couple hours later, it shot back up. And then the next day, it gapped up, which means that um, when the market opened, it opened much higher than when it closed. So it closed right here, but then the market actually opened right up here. So, and then it did some more stuff and then it came back up. So, hindsight is always 2020. We look at it and we're like, oh, okay, I should have held it because it went up. Now, when you're in the trade, you have no idea what is actually going to happen. So you just have to stay firm with your rules and manage your risk because you can always get back into a trade. So that was basically the look left thing, and then also volume. Especially if you're trading anything in the stock market, you're not going to have the volume is going to basically die off after the first 90 minutes or maybe the first 2 hours of the market open. So I am on Central Time and the market opens up at 8:30 a.m. So by 10:30 a.m., like pretty much around this time period here, you can see that's when we had that one big candle that sold off tremendously, pretty much just wiping out all the gains from the morning. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be done. I'll take my $110 loss and just wait for the next day. And when the next day happened, I didn't see a good entry, at least when I was looking at the market. So I didn't enter the market again. And I'll just be waiting for a better opportunity. But when it comes to this, basically I am looking to hold on to as much capital as possible, which is why I had my risk capped here. So going back here, I did talk a little bit about the trading journal. So, like I said, how could I have taken this differently? Why did I lose this trade? So these are all things that I put inside of my trading journal. And like I said, TradeZella is an amazing journal. I've been using it for the past 1, 2, 3, like 4, almost 5 months, and it's been really amazing to go back and see, what I could have done better. So if you just want it, here is an affiliate link of mine. It doesn't cost anything for you in order to do it. It just helps out this channel so that way I can continue to make amazing content like this totally for free. So go ahead and check that out. I also put this link in the description box below so that way you can go ahead and click on it that way. So let's look at this last point right here. Go down. So the other point is review your trading journal and study your past trades. So this is super key. So every weekend, if I don't put the trade in at the at the time I take the trade, so for instance, this Apple trade, I didn't get a chance to put everything inside of my trading journal on that day. So I'll save them for Saturday, which is right now, so I'm going to do this actually after this video, but basically review my losing trades and figure out, well, why did I lose it? How could I have taken this better? So if we go back here, these before and after screenshots that I talked about before really does help. And then I also have some questions and things that I ask myself to help me better analyze the charts. So if we take a look at this really quick, we can see that overall the market was in a downtrend at that time. We did have this strong bullish candle. I took the buy, but it just didn't work out. It came back too far. Although it did continue to go up later, it just didn't work out in my favor. And I'm totally okay with this. It would have been cool if I would have entered maybe the day before and got in around here. This would have been a much stronger entry. And I also would have had a better stop loss placement somewhere down here. So these are just kind of the things that I do when it comes to going back and analyzing my trades. Hopefully, this was helpful for you. So that way you can go ahead and improve your trading, and if you don't do anything else, follow this process. This is going to help you tremendously, and good luck, and I'll see you next time.